Yo, what's up, world? Alright, I just want to break down some things, that I learned up until this point in my life. Alright, so I'm 28 now. Come out of high school, secondary school, if you're in England, and then went to college, went to uni, dropped out of uni, started working. Now, right now, I'm training to be a carpenter. Before this, when I come out of school, the focus really is on sport and business. So I come out of school, I done public services and sport in college, and that kind of set me off on my fitness journey. When I come out of college, I had a job in a health store, so health supplements, healthy foods like nuts and seeds and stuff. So that worked there for a little while. Money weren't great. I was just getting stressed out. Like, as much as they offer you different things in terms of, like, they say you can get promotion, you can get more responsibility, getting the key holder, all this stuff, the pay was only coming to like a maximum 30k, 25k pounds, if you're like a assistant manager, 30k if you're a manager with overtime, and you can go up to 40k if you're an area manager. And the responsibility was looking a lot, and I was just like, I just can't see the money in this in the long term. You look at house prices, and at the time I'm looking at 200, 300,000 pound houses. After all your expenses and the money you saved, even if you're on 30k, you probably got like 5k left in a year, 6k left in a year, maybe 10 if you're frugal. And I was like, this ain't enough for me. So then I left that, and I spoke to someone when I was in the store. The health store was a personal trainer. They was telling me, there's so much money in personal training, fitness, stuff like that. So I went down the personal training route and the fitness route. Started training people, working in fitness first, doing classes, coaching people. And I realised that no matter how much money you get paid an hour, you're only limited to the amount of hours that you actually have booked in the day. So there's 24 hours in a day. So then to make a healthy amount of money, you have to work 24 hours. And I was like, okay, so then the only way to up this is to sell products on the side or sell extra things to generate extra income. Realised from doing that, the income didn't interest me because it's actually babysitting. You're not actually training people just for the sake of fitness and trying to make people elite. And because of my background, I had a nutrition background. Because of working in a health store, I had fitness background from actually going to college and doing the public services, which is police, fire, ambulance service, things like that, and also army, which changed my life a lot. Went to army barracks for like a week. That changed my life a lot and my perspective on training. And so anyway, I was talking to this guy, telling him about the money in fitness, started doing that, realised I didn't have an interest in that, I wanted more money for less work. And then I just realised property is just the way for me. Property and business or sales, because there's no limit to the amount of people you can reach around the world with a product or service if they can consume it and give you money for it without you having to do excess amounts of work or take any time. For example, selling a book, or what I used to do was resell clothes. So like I'd buy something for, like, let's say trainers, I'd resell trainers. So I'd buy trainers for £200 and then you try to sell them for £300. But then once you bought 10, 20, 30 products, you're actually £3,000, £4,000 in a hole. And then you're just like, this is just crazy. These times I didn't understand credit. I didn't know about credit. I didn't know about borrowing money. I didn't know about other people's money. My interest in business carried on, and then I was like, I need to learn more. I need to do more. I want to get more money. So I started changing my environment, changing my network. So then as I'm on my journey of learning about how to make the most amount of money possible, for me, the best route was property. Now, to get into the property world, you need money. And all the routes I've taken don't really give you that much money. Like, you can get the deposit and maybe the small payments, but then once you get the property, now you're stuck with paying the mortgage on the property, and then you have to keep going to work every day. Or, in my sense, I didn't get a car. I didn't take on a big car loan. I didn't take on big debts like that. All my debts was all based on trying to start businesses or trying to make things happen for myself in the longer term. So, once I kind of established myself, I need more money, and property was the way to go. And don't watch my eyes water outside. Yeah, this is going to be a consistent. You're always going to see this. It's never going to stop. Call me, say I'm crying, whatever, I don't care. This is the way it is. Hay fever and just weak-eyed. Anyway, I decided I want to get into property. For me, they say there's 2 avenues to get in, or 3. One is pay for my own training to get into a trade. 2, find an investor, put money into a deal and see how it goes. Whether it be me renovating myself, getting other people to, you see how it goes. And the other option is find a company, work with a company, for a company, and find people who can teach me along the way, get paid for the time that I'm there, and then hopefully by the time I finish what I'm doing now, which is carpentry, I'll know how to renovate my own house, build my own house. If I've got a house which is just run down, I can renovate it. Now, what this means is, if you get a house and renovate a house and sell it, you can end up getting profits of 20 to 30k in 1 year. So even if you're making that 30k from a job, you can also end up getting 30k extra profit. So let's say you have a £150,000 house. For whatever reason, it's valued at 110 right now. You know on the street that most of the houses will go for 150 because you look at previous sales. If a house is run down, back down, once you've renovated it, done it up a bit, you sell it to somebody who wants to buy for market value. After you put in your 20, 30k, now you can make the money. If you can get that money yourself or cut down the costs to a large amount, then you have a bigger margin to take home. Now if you have an investor, you have to share that income. One of the issues of having an investor is if you take the investment, you don't share the problems with them. They want the result. You want the result, but you take on the problems. You also take on the problems of bringing on that investor and having to do what you need to do. And that's when I realized, when you have a job and you're employed, you have a boss. When you're in business and you take investment, you have a boss, because you have to please them. When you're personal training or training people or coaching somebody, you give somebody advice and it's their job to take things further. When somebody pays you for a service or they buy something from you, once you got 10, 20, 50, 100 products to ship out, you have to go and ship those products. That's your problem. If you pay someone to do that for you, it takes the problem off your hands, but that takes money. It's always a thing of money. Money or time, money or time, money or time. Is what you're doing worth it? So now I'm in carpentry. I'm meeting a lot of people who are in the trade, can help me do a lot of things that if I can't do them, you see, for example, somebody needs some flooring done, or they need to, their sink is broke and they've got a leak, or their toilet's broke. Now, I can't fix that problem. I'm not a plumber. I could, but I'm not going to budget. I'll refer somebody else and I can take a cut from that. If I refer 10 people and take a cut from each of those transactions, and let's say there's 10 transactions in a day, if those transactions are between £100 and £1,000 and I'm taking 10%, I might walk away from that actual day with an extra £200, £300, £400 in my pocket. Realistically, you might only get 2 jobs because some things take long and you can take a cut. So you might get if someone's got a plumbing job, £500, and I'm taking a 10%, I might get £50 off that one job. Somebody else might give me a £200 for paying me £200 to get a job done. Let's say it's the sink again, leak. I could pay somebody £100 and I take £100. I haven't done anything. I had a conversation. Someone put money in my hand. I gave someone else £100. The customer's happy. I haven't done anything. I haven't needed to work for 2 hours to get paid £50 an hour. Chat to someone for 2 hours and then wait for them, and I'm waiting. Oh, when you next gonna come around? When am I next gonna get the booking from you, the payment? It was just frustrating chasing the money. When you're in the referral business or arbitrage, you find something somebody wants, who's got the money. You find somebody who can provide the service. Add some change on top to make sure you can take some for yourself, and you get paid. Now I'm at an older age where I realise the time you spend on making money, you don't want it to have a cap. You don't want it to end. So my latest projects is media and music, because when I was doing the reselling and selling my time, I'm limited to the amount I can sell. You're limited to the amount of stock you can hold. You're limited to the amount of time you can provide your service. Now, when you make music or sell a book or something intellectual property wise, it can sell infinite times. And also, people and companies will buy the perceived value of the long-term value of whatever you've created. Now, when this happens, that's how people sell their catalogs for serious amounts of money. So when you have like Future, I think he sold his catalog for like I believe, may be wrong, 9 figures, 8 to 9 figures. And like Justin Bieber also sold their catalog for a serious amount of money, I think it was 6 to 9 figures. I don't know what it was specifically. What I'm trying to say is, the biggest thing that I've learned is, you always need to make money for your time. The only way to make substantial amounts of money is to not make money based on your time. To make money based upon your mind, your intellectual property, what you think, what you can do, your skills. If somebody needs a kitchen counter changed, I might not be able to do it, but if I find somebody who can, I can still get the money from it. If somebody wants to get fitter, I can sit with them and train them for 2 hours and explain for them what to do, and then they can go and do their thing themselves, but then that 2 hours is gone. If they keep coming back to me afterwards because they want to buy a book from me, let's say that they want nutrition advice, I could give them that for free. I could sell them a £10 book. Then if they want fitness advice on how am I gonna get better abs, I can train them for an hour and then it's done. Or I can send them to my YouTube channel where there's 50 different videos which has different ways to train your abs. And every single time that they consume the content, I'm gonna get paid from it. So if they watch that 100 times, I'm gonna keep getting paid. I don't need to wake up in the morning. I don't need to say nothing to them. I can send them a link. If they want to look at it, cool. I get paid off it. If they don't look at it, they might pay me for the actual time that it takes me to explain it to them. And I have to charge for that. And you should charge for that. Because if you don't, you're gonna be spending so much time helping other people for nothing that when you actually have people in your life you want to help, you can't help them because you don't have no money. And if you want to help your family, for example, but your only way of getting money is going to work, time for money, you ain't never got no time. And that's a shame, because especially when you get older, you have children, you have family, you have friends, you don't want to be spending all your time just sitting at work, but you want money. It's one of them things. So I say the biggest thing I've learned in my adult life, which I wish I did when I was 15, 16, yeah? I wish I built a catalog. That's one. So whatever my niche is, so now if I see it's fitness and music and business, you create a page, a channel, something like that, where you can keep on constantly adding and contributing towards a catalog. And if you end up having 100 videos or 100 songs or 100 music videos or 100 books, once you've got those, you might end up selling 1,000 copies of each. As long as you've got it on demand, so you don't have to go out and run around printing the things and getting them done. If you have things on an on-demand service, you might end up ending the week and realising, okay, I got £500 from my passive income, from the income from my intellectual property. I've just been paid £1,000 for my job. And people have spoke to me after work as well, and they've given me £50, £100 or £200 as well. So then you can end up making a couple grand in a week. The worst thing about time for money and only having a salary job, or not even a salary job, because that's even better, that's good. If you have a job where you're only paid per hour, you're capped to how much you can make. You will be spending a lot of time ripping your hair out trying to figure out how you can make more money. Most of the time it's doing overtime. Overtime will not give you riches. It will give you more money for your pocket. The tax man will take more money from your overtime than you actually end up getting from doing the overtime. So it's not worth it. Even if you get paid time and a half or double pay, it actually ends up being not worth it. If you spend that same amount of time, the 4 hours you done on that overtime, making content which could be evergreen, so selling forever, that might end up blowing up. That one piece of content you made could have took you 4 minutes to make, 5 minutes to make. That could end up making you £1 million. Now, my life, I am not rich, but I understand how to get rich. And I understand how to keep money. The issue is understanding how to do something and applying it and doing it are two different things. Now I'm at the stage of my life where my transactions, I want to be bigger. 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures. Anything smaller than that, there's no point putting the time into it, because I might spend 30 hours trying to make a big transaction happen and it end up being £200. That's not worth it. That's a 2-hour job. That's a 1-hour job. When I spend my time now as a grown up, I would rather spend all my spare hours and my spare time when I was younger building that catalogue. Because at this age I'm at now, if I was 10 years deep in it, somebody might give me money through leverage because of what I've created. I'm doing that now. When you get offered money based upon what is in your head, you don't feel whatever you're offered is ever worth it. It's never the same for what is worth to you. Now, if you do 9 hours in a day and you get paid £150 out of that, or $200, you're like, cool, my day's done, I'm happy, I made $200. You're happy. But if you create something which is unique and distinct to you, you might not want to give it away, and then you can't get it back because you have to create it again. Do not devalue your time, because when you're young, the things you do, the jobs you do, most of the time just pattern you up to learn and put you in the position of where do I want to be, who do I want to be, and where do I want to go. And the people you meet along the way are the ones who are going to give you the keys and the clues of how to get to the next level, the next stage, or to change your situation, because you only know what you know up until the point you know more. As soon as you start getting the knowledge and applying yourself and realizing you are more than just the hours in a day, in that 24 hours in a day, once you die, you can keep on passing on value. Your value should not be limited to what you can make in an hour. And you should look at every hour as, okay, this is what I've done in an hour. This is how much that made me. Okay, I'm going to replicate that again. The biggest mistake you could ever make in your entire life, really, if you add it up in this day and age with media, the biggest mistake you can make is to think the only way for you to live a happy, sustainable lifestyle is to get paid by one person, one company. Unless that company has 6, 7, 8, 9 figures and is going to give you a massive share in it, or you're going to get some type of payment from, I don't know, random phone call, someone saying they sold a business or they've sold a car and here's some money. Unless you have that happen to you out of luck, or you do some show competition, something like that, unless something like that happens to you, most of the time you're going to be spending your energy and efforts working for hours, for time. Don't get caught in the trap of thinking working and just going to work is going to give you a happy, sustainable life, because it's not. Working will give you discipline to spend your time in a way which brings you value. That's what having a job when you're young does. That's why when people who work most of the time, if they don't go to university or go on education, if they keep working a job, they realize over time, I can spend more time, or I can spend less time making more money in a different place, so that's what I'm going to do. I can move position and get paid more money for less time. Don't get caught up in the trap of thinking what you do is so valuable that you are worth the amount you are paid at the end of the year. Because if you don't want that, there's always another option around the corner. But be open-minded, use your mind, and don't just see yourself as a product of your past, your previous. Because if you do that, you're probably going to end up being caught in the industry. You're probably not going to enjoy it. You're not going to give yourself the freedom to explore and go through different avenues of generating wealth, income, and spending your time in a way which gives you positive feelings and happy emotions. Be careful about where you spend your time when you're 14 to 18. Experience as much as you can, be as free as you can, go as many places as you can, meet as many people as you can, do as many jobs as you can, spread yourself as wide as you can. Because when you get to a point where you want to make things happen and you want to get things in abundance, you need to understand everything about that thing, that specific industry or niche. The biggest thing you can do for yourself is build a catalogue. Build a catalogue. I could not say it enough. I spent 3 years altogether doing business studies in university, 2 years in school, in high school, and in college. The whole time I ran businesses on the side. If I'm honest, I wish I spent all my money on assets and long-term investments that pay me for the longer term, so I don't have to keep going to work. Because my mind can bring me more than what somebody's paycheck can give to me. Because when you don't want to work there anymore, do that thing anymore, that paycheck is gone and you start from scratch. You build that catalogue. Even if you want to start from scratch, you're still building the catalogue which you put in the past in place, which will always grow. if something starts at 0 and in every view, every sale, every purchase goes up, it might start off going in ones and at a certain pace, and then it'll start going to 10s and 20s and 30s and 50s and hundreds and thousands, then tens of thousands, and you're like, you know what? You wake up in the morning, you realize 10,000 people have looked at something you created, and if they gave you £1, you'd have £10,000. You have to work a lot to get £10,000 if you're on a low-paying job that you don't enjoy. Build your catalogue, make life happen. Don't be a slave to the paycheck. Peace.